Hello, I'm Gray. I'm volunteering for Cycling UK under the name of New Brighton Pedal Power Progression. Cycling UK, through the Pedal Power experience, have awarded us a small grant to service and repair bikes for free within our community, which is the community of New Brighton. We're also hoping to set up a New Brighton community cycle club in the very near future as well, with the network of followers and network of community individuals that we've engaged with. We're currently doing a Dr. Bike here behind me. We've got bike stands, we've got a full mobile bike workshop, and we've got brake cables, gear cables, brake blocks. We've got oils and lubricants and cleaners, so we are helping out with making these bikes most serviceable and useful again for the people who own them.
With this being a community-based project, is there a charge for what you do with the bikes?
No, there's no charge for what we're doing with the bikes at all. It's entirely free service, as I say, funded by Cycling UK. And we're running 10 of these Dr. Bikes or bike workshops, bike surgeries, whatever people like to call them, in the month to fulfil our obligation to Cycling UK as part of a thing called the Big Bike Revival. So people are digging their bikes out of sheds and out of the garden and finding they're unserviceable, and they've been bringing them to us, and we've been fixing them up and then kind of giving them some ride safe training so they can start riding again, particularly for the older generation to regain some of their confidence. And I've had emails from people whose bikes have serviced earlier on this month to say how much they're enjoying their newfound freedom on their bikes that they hadn't used for maybe 2 years.
Would you say with everything that's happened with lockdown and that, there's been more of a revival of people riding bikes and now?
Well, there's certainly been more of a demand. In fact, the bike industry had completely run out of new bikes last year, and now they've got forward orders for 6 months ahead that they're possibly not going to be able to fulfil.
If you could give someone advice who was looking to start cycling, maybe they haven't for years, or looking to start afresh, what would it be?
I would say get in touch with your local Cycling UK representative. They will help you to find the right kind of bike for what you want to use, for what you want to cycle on, and also give you some advice about the sizing of the bike, and they may even be able to help you with one of the big problems we've got is that people haven't got room to store their bikes inside their houses. So we're looking to set up bike hubs and bike parks for people who live in the kind of houses that we're standing amongst now, these Victorian houses which have been turned into flats. People don't have space to keep their bikes, so it's a matter of looking at the whole, being advised on the whole issue as to where you can keep your bike safely, or whether you should just get involved with a bike club, a community bike club, which can provide you with a bike as and when you need one through a fleet of bikes. And this is what the community cycling clubs are trying to achieve.
If someone locally has got a bike that needs fixing up, how's the best way for them to get in touch with you guys?
Well, we've got a Facebook page which is called New Brighton Pedal Power Progression. So if you were to type at New Brighton Pedal Power into your browser, you don't have to be on Facebook to get it. It's a public page, and it will give you all the information about when our next events are. We post our events online just a few days usually before we go live on the event, to really discourage people from one area all turning up at another area to get their bike fixed in the car. What we'd rather do is take the Dr. Bike, the bike surgery, to them.
Is there any other information you'd like to add to what you've said already?
Yeah, I think the general ethos amongst us is that as long-term cyclists, we've gained a lot of knowledge through riding bikes of how to fix our bikes and how to manage ourselves when we're on the public highway amongst traffic. And we understand that, you know, that's not something you can learn overnight. So what we're doing is to provide a program of what we're calling fix, learn and ride. So we need to teach people how to fix their own bikes competently, and we need them to learn how to do that and to show us that they can do it, and then to learn how to ride their bike properly using the bikeability and the full circle process, which involves this bike fix, learn, ride, and then to go out riding together, and then to maybe to emerge individuals as ride leaders who can then do some similar process with their own small network or their own groups of friends, so they can invest that back into their own community and pass that knowledge on, so that what we're doing is handing it over to our community. And this is really what we're doing. This is just a start. It's the start of it for us. What we want to do next is find some volunteers.
So my name's Stuart Walsh. I'm Cycling Development Officer for Cycling UK, and I cover the Liverpool City region.
What is it that you do with Cycling UK then? What does it involve?
So Cycling UK is basically my role as Cycling Development Officer is setting up it's two strands really. It's based upon the Big Bike Revival, which is a grant that goes out to community groups, organisations, businesses, can be anyone, to promote cycling really. Over the last year we've done loads of different things about getting bike loans out to frontline workers, loads of doctor bike sessions like Graham has been doing here today, and bikeability in schools, all sorts of different things really. And then setting up community cycle clubs, that's the other strand, and that's a real main focus of what we do. So setting up community cycle clubs that can continue to do this type of work all the time and train volunteers up as group ride leaders, mechanics, and really engaging with the local community. And this is a perfect area for it. Everybody knows everybody around here. It's really nice. Everyone's really talking to each other, really friendly. They're all into bikes, supporting each other, and a community cycling club can be at the heart of that, and that's what we're trying to do here, to set that up. So yeah, early days, but yeah, it's been really well received around here.
What advice would you give to a new cyclist?
A new cyclist? Well, a new cyclist, I would say, well, get out on the bike first. Yeah, try it out, get into it, and buy a decent bike if you can. If not, try and get a lot of second-hand bikes out there. So get into that. Maybe not buy anything too expensive to start with, and then get a lot of practicing. Off-road first, and then moving into trails. I mean, you can cycle all over the place. Once you've put a few miles in, you'll be amazed by the freedom and independence it can give you. But that sort of thing is really important. I think paramount to keeping your enthusiasm to cycling. And it's the social side. Everyone thinks it's the physical exercise with cycling. I think meeting groups, going out with groups is brilliant and the best part of it. And that's what really keeps people happy and generates a lot of that community spirit, and that's what I enjoy about it. And I'd say if you're going out on the road and you're commuting and other things like that, there's bikeability, there's instructor type things that you can get into, learning how to ride on the road, have more confidence on the road, and know where you should be placed, and having the awareness of the traffic around you and controlling your space that you're in. As an ex-cycling instructor, that's really important to me, and helping people aware of that.
So with the safety side of things being vitally important, especially with being on roads and stuff like that, what would be the main points you'd like to say about that? About
staying safe on the road? Yeah, well, I'd say go out with your friends, people who are more capable, going out there and talk to them about how they feel about being on the road, and I've gone out there and done it. And then look for those, the cycle instructor if you can do, try and get some free training. There's loads of internet things out there as well. Learning how to fix your bike if you're going out for a longer ride, that's a really important thing, so knowing how to fix a puncture or other things like that, so you go further and have more independence when you go out. As for safety on the road, yeah, infrastructure's a massive thing, and we're seeing a lot more of that across Liverpool City region now. with the cycling commissioner and everybody else, and there's a lot more infrastructure going in. There's a long way to go, it's early days, but there's definitely a lot more political will behind it than there was, say, a year or two ago, and that's a real difference. So infrastructure is number one really if you want to get people safer on the roads. But while we're doing that, I think this is particularly important time for community cycle clubs and other things like that. When people are all getting out on the bikes, you can't buy bikes in the shop. There's hardly any there. You know, second-hand bikes, the cost of them's gone up, and trying to get parts for them, and it's crazy at the moment. So getting out there with community cycle clubs, doing all those sort of things, and meeting people with experience or who cycle on the road I think is quite an important thing, and knowing how to get from A to B and navigating that and how you do it. Negotiating junctions is hugely important when you're riding on the road. Staying away from car doors, knowing about primary, secondary position, but awareness and communication to traffic around you. And by that I don't just mean signalling, putting your arm on. I mean looking behind and seeing what the traffic's there. It's that psychological thing to only by looking behind that people know that you're the person, you know. Otherwise they treat you as an object to get past, and that's always paramount in my mind when I'm cycling. It's been really great to come along here today and see everybody and to see the reception they've been getting from the local community when they're delivering, and how people are interested in either volunteering or getting the bikes fixed, and it's obvious to me that it's going to be a success and people are going to keep on doing it, you know, and it's building on that goodwill, and I think that's something like this here in this place is the perfect place to do it. You know, New Brighton has definitely, there's a gap here to do.
Hi, my name's Tracy Woods.
What brought you down today?
Well, I've just been down to Victoria Road, I had a few things to do. Sat by Habibi and talked to a few friends, and they told me someone was fixing bikes and it was like free service. So just before I was getting ready to go home, I just decided to just walk across. I was met by Stuart and he brought me over, and oh god, second to none, absolutely brilliant. Had the cables replaced, checked all the tyres, checked all the brakes, all the gears, cog, they've even took the wheels out, put them back on. I've had like basically it's a full service what I've had. And really
it's all
very
been
happy.
free as well, which makes it even better.
Which, yeah, least to my surprise, I was like, I would have paid, you know what I mean? And I have been into somewhere and been priced like a lot more for what they've done. So yeah, I'm very happy. I recommend it to everyone.